The neon glow of the bar cut through the evening haze like a knife, and I froze, my chest tightening as if someone had struck me. Through the fog window of Ali's, I saw her, my wife, Elise, laughing with a man whose hand rested far too casually on hers. My keys rattled in my shaking fingers, the ground seeming to tilt beneath me. 7 years of marriage, and I hadn't seen her smile like that, not for me, not in years. The air smelled of rain-soaked asphalt and spilled beer as I pushed through the heavy oak door. Inside, the bar hummed with clinking glasses and soft chatter, but all I could hear was my own heartbeat. Elise's auburn hair caught the dim light, her head tilted toward him, her eyes sparkling in a way that once belonged to me. I lingered in the doorway, unnoticed, my wedding ring suddenly heavy, like an anchor pulling me under. I'd come here by chance, a detour after a late shift at the office. Elise had texted earlier, saying she was meeting a friend from work. I hadn't thought twice. She had been distant lately, yes, but I blamed the promotion, the long hours, the stress. Now, watching her lean toward the stranger, his fingers brushing her wrist, I saw every missed call, every vague excuse. Every night, she slipped into bed long after I'd fallen asleep. The signs had been there, flickering like faulty streetlights, and I had chosen to walk blindly. I slid into a booth across the room, half hidden by a flickering jukebox. The bartender, a grizzled man with a beard like steel wool, glanced at me but said nothing. My eyes stayed glued to them. The man, tall, broad-shouldered, his jacket perfectly tailored, his smile too smooth, whispered something and Elise laughed, her hand brushing his arm. My stomach roiled, acid rising in my throat. I wanted to storm over, demand answers, but my legs felt rooted. What terrified me more, the truth or losing her entirely? Memories clawed at me. Our first day at that tiny Italian cafe, her shy grin over spaghetti, the way she held on to me during our wedding vows, promising forever beneath a sky bruised with stars. I wanted to believe this was a mistake, a misunderstanding. Maybe he was just a friend, a colleague. But then he tucked a strand of hair behind her ear and her cheeks flushed, and the lie I had been telling myself crumbled to ash. I ordered a whiskey, the glass cold in my hand, and watched him like a detective piecing together a crime scene. The tilt of her head, the way she didn't recoil from his touch. It was practiced intimacy, the kind you only master over months. My mind raced, recalling her late nights, the sudden obsession with her phone, the passcode she hadn't had before. I told myself it was nothing. That love meant trust. But trust, I realized, is a house built on sand, and the tide was rising. The jukebox shifted to a slow, mournful song. I caught fragments of their conversation over the music. "You're overthinking it," the man said low, teasing. Elise's reply was too soft to hear, but her smile was sharp, conspiratorial. I gripped my glass tighter, whiskey untouched, my wedding ring glinting in the amber light, a shackle now, a relic of a promise she had already broken. I couldn't stay invisible forever. My legs moved before my brain caught up. Carry me toward their table. The bar seemed to shrink around me, the air thick with the weight of what was coming. Elise saw me first. Her eyes widened, her laugh dying mid-breath. The man turned, his smirk fading as he realized who I was. Up close, he was older than I expected, lines etched around his eyes, but his confidence didn't falter. "Mark," Elise said, her voice a mix of surprise and something else, guilt-fear. "What are you doing here?" "I could ask you the same thing," I said finally, voice steady despite the storm inside. My eyes flicked to the man. "Who's this?" She hesitated, fingers tightening around her wine glass. "David from work," she lied. Thin, stretched, breaking. David extended a hand, but I ignored it, gaze locked on Elise. Her eyes darted away. In that instant, I knew. No excuses, no explanations, just a raw, ugly truth. "Work, huh?" I said low, "Dangerous." "Funny, you never mentioned David before." The bar blurred around us, air electric with tension. David stayed seated, silent, predator-like, assessing. "Mark, let's talk outside," Elise said, voice trembling. She reached for my arm, but I stepped back, hand instinctively go to my ring. I twisted it off, the metal cold in my palm, and held it out. The gesture felt final, like signing a death warrant. "Keep it," I said, voice breaking despite myself. "Clearly, you don't need it anymore." Her face crumpled, tears brimming, but she didn't take the ring. "Mark, please. It's not what you think." "Then what is it?" I snapped, louder than intended, drawing glances from nearby tables. "Tell me, Elise. Tell me why you're here, laughing with him, touching him, when you're supposed to be my wife." David stood, jaw tight. "Hey, man, let's calm." "Don't." I cut him off, glare pinning him in place. "This isn't about you." "Not yet." Elise's tears spilled, but she stayed silent. No denial, no defense. Her silence was confession, cutting through me like glass. I set the ring on the table. The soft clink echoed. "I trusted you." I whispered. "I loved you." I turned to leave, chest hollow, but her voice stopped me. "Mark, wait." For a fleeting moment, I saw her, the woman I married, vulnerable, scared, human. "I didn't mean for this to happen," she said, fragile. "I was lonely. You were always working, always gone." David, he was there. The word lonely twisted like a knife. It stung because it was a lie. I had been consumed by work, bills, keeping our life afloat, but I had never stopped loving her. Had she? I looked at David, who had the decency to avert his eyes, then back at Elise. "You could have talked to me," I said. "You could have fought for us. Instead, you chose this." I walked out, leaving the ring behind, night air biting my face. But as I hit the street, a thought struck, sharp, sickening. The way David watched her, possessive, certain. This wasn't just a fling. This had been going on for months, maybe longer. And the photo I found on her phone last week, the one I dismissed as a work trip, it was him in her hotel room. I stopped, breath hitching, truth crashing down. She hadn't just betrayed me tonight. She had been rewriting our marriage for months, and I was blind to it. The ring was gone, but the weight of her betrayal? That ghost I carry forever.